So today we're going to go over the sole of the foot, just because we need to go over the sole of the foot and it's the foundation of so much. And then we're going to go over the antib, which is that muscle that you get shin splints in that allows us to bring our toe up toward our knee, and then our calf, which allows us to point our toe, right? So for us to point our toe, this muscle has to give way, allow this muscle to contract, and vice versa. So it's that balance that will help bring the best mobility in our lower leg. So to start, we're gonna come into child's pose. So go ahead and bring your knees wide. You want the outsides of your ribs to graze the insides of your thighs, and then just reach forward with your hands. And take a moment to settle in here. Recognizing that your breath allows the parasympathetic nervous system to kick in, which will allow you to get the most bang for your buck when we start rolling out muscles. The nervous system isn't saying, screw you. And then begin to rock your torso from side to side. And then bring your knees together. Stay on the tops of your feet. And then go back into a child's pose. So this is just a closed knee child pose. Focusing on that inhalation, pushing into the tops of your thighs. And then slowly begin to roll up one vertebra at a time. Head comes up last. And then rock forward so you can curl your toes underneath. And then press your knees up. See if you can find balance. If you fall, that's fine. That's part of it. Play the piano with your toes, with your fingers. Toes mirror fingers, that's the fun part. And then slowly start to press into the ball of your feet. Keep your knees pressing in together and come to stand. Stay, heels lifted. Reach through the fingertips, reach, reach, reach. And then bring your hands down, palms at heart center. Slowly start to lower down. We're still on our toes. Pressing your knees together, activate the sole of the foot and settle in. And then one more time, press into the toes, the ball of the foot, slowly rise. And then you can lower your heels down to the ground. Okay, go ahead and step it nice and wide. So the cue here is to make sure that your knees are over your ankles. 9 times out of 10, people really like to have their feet wide and then their knees start caving. That compromises the integrity of what we're trying to do. So take the time to set it up. Yeah. Walk those feet in if you find that your knees are forward of your ankles. Yeah. Okay, and we're gonna bring our hands to heart center. We're gonna press through the balls of our feet and come to our toes. And then lower down. And then press up. Lower down. Sit a little lower. Squeeze your sitting bones together. Activate those glutes. Press up. And lower down. And one more time. Lower down. All right, go ahead and straighten those legs up. Come to the top of your mat. So face me. Okay, now come to the balls of your feet. Bring your hands to heart center. Glue your knees together. If this is difficult for women, you can do it with knees separated. It's just a little harder. Keep your heels lifted. Descend. Hover with your heels above the ground. Shift your weight to the left. This is challenging, but give yourself some grace. Pick your right foot up. You're still on your toes. Yes, lower down. Right side, lift that left foot up. Lower down. Whoop! Left side. I'm on the edge of my mat. Good. And then right side. Yeah. Lower down. All right, straighten your legs up. Reach your fingertips up toward the ceiling and then forward fold. All right, go ahead and walk your feet back to find downward facing dog. Find the integrity in your thoracic spine. So press evenly through all 5 fingers on each hand. Elbow creases are reaching toward me. Bend your knees deeply. Keep that left knee bent as you start to drive your right heel toward the ground. Feel that stretch in the right back leg. Bend that right knee deeply, then drive that left heel toward the ground. And then again, bending both knees, cycling through the right heel, reaching back and down. Torso is completely static here. And then bend that right knee, left knee straightens. And then both knees bend deeply. Then we're gonna kind of animal crawl forward. So we're just gonna bring right toe toward right hand, left toes toward left hand, all the way up. And then we're gonna lower our knees down, hover the knees above the ground, and then slowly sit our hips down on top of our heels. Okay, then crawl your hands back toward your knees and find balance. Okay, keep your hands by your heart. Slowly, with control if you can, lower your knees down toward the ground. And then uncurl those toes, come to the tops of the feet. Okay, you can release your hands, bring them next to your sides. How are we doing? Good on the tops of the feet? Okay, so this is gonna be different for everybody. We're gonna try and see if we can rock back. If you can't rock back, that's fine. Just shift your weight back. Yep, that's just fine. So honor where you're at. It's a journey, right? Don't forget your breath. All right, grab your bitty balls, and if you're working with socks, you may want to take them off. So we're gonna take the ball, we're gonna stick it right on the front side of the heel, and then we're gonna compress the ball underneath our heel. And then slowly start to work your heel from side to side. Now we're gonna go all the way to the base of the heel, to the toes. It's a good one for you, huh? Okay, so again, balance. Pin that ball right at the ball of the foot. Spread the toes. Even though they're not necessarily making contact with the ground, it helps with the proprioception piece. Lift that left foot up, scrub the top of the right foot. All right, and now we're gonna go really quickly from front to back. Grab your kettlebell and take a seat. So everything, I mean, you guys know a lot of this stuff. I don't like when people talk down to me or use big language to try and explain things, but it makes sense that all these muscles feed down, right? So we're working our way up. So we're gonna hit the Achilles now, right foot. So you're gonna take the center of the Achilles here. This is not a muscle. Fibrous band of tissue. So you may not get a lot of sensation, that's okay. We're just gonna windshield wiper our feet. So the idea here is really just to bring blood to the area before we start working on stretching all this stuff out and moving this stuff. So now we're gonna start to point our toes and then bring our toes into the nose. And not that we're looking for increased sensation, but if you feel like that Achilles is like, all right, I'm not gonna be super, super hard, you can bring that left foot on top of the right and then go back to windshield wiper. Go ahead and release. Move your kettlebell to the side. Let's get into the fun stuff. So whether you're working with a mat or whether you're working with a block, make sure you've got lots of room from front to back so that you can move your shin and your ball doesn't fall off the edge. So if you're working with a box or a block, you're going to want to put the totes, the toted balls in the center, and then put the center of your shin right there. So we're just gonna scrub all the way down to that place where that antib starts to feed into the ankle, and then all the way up toward the knee. And if you're working with a block, you might have to shift your shin a little. Press your hands into the ground, lift that left leg off the ground and place it on the back of the right calf. If that's too much, then don't do it. So scoot your butt up towards your mat so that you can elevate the back of your calf onto the block or the mat. We're gonna stick the toted balls in the center of the calves here. So we have one ball on this outside calf, the soleus, and then one on the inside. And all we're gonna do is that same thing we did with the Achilles, is just windshield wiper the toes. All right, so find a spot, bring your left foot on, or your opposite leg on top, and then we're gonna just point and flex again. So just starting to work into the muscle with a little bit of pin and stretch. Yeah. And then you have an option here. You can leave this leg on top or you can take it off if it's too much, but then we're gonna windshield wiper at that spot of greatest tension. Don't forget to breathe. All right, and then release that top leg if you're working with it, and then start to bend the knee and start to explore a different area of that calf. I'll give you guys creative license to kind of take your time to explore the whole thing and find where you need the most work. And then take a moment, let's inhale. Exhale, let it go. And then bring that opposite leg on top of the leg that has the balls underneath them. And then we're just gonna point our toes and flex them. So come to your knees, you're gonna extend your right leg straight. You're gonna nuzzle this guy into the back of your knee as much as you possibly can, and then rebend the knee.
There's a reason I never do this.
You what?
There's a reason I never do this.
Yeah. It's the ones that we don't like, the ones we avoid, we need the most. I like to take my thumbs and press on the outsides of the balls so that they don't go anywhere, and then make tents with my fingers so I have a little bit of help. And then we're just gonna breathe. So we're gonna inhale to back out ever so slightly, and then exhale, sink your hips towards your heels. All right, come to your knees, remove the offending objects. Separate your knees, come into child's pose. Reach your fingertips forward. Plant those hands exactly where they're at. Curl your toes under, find downward facing dog. So find the integrity in your torso first. So straight, flat back. Shoulder blades are glued to the back ribs. Elbow creases are reaching forward. Knees are bent deeply. Keep that left knee bent as you start to slowly drive that right heel down to the ground. And then bend that right knee deeply. Same thing for the left side. Man, oh gravy. Bend the left knee, Cycle through the right side. And then the left. And now straighten both and breathe. Lift your toes off the ground if you can. If your heels are lifted, then just leave them. If your heels are reaching toward the ground and you've got any give in your toes, lift those up. And then slowly walk your feet to your hands. Then come to Uttanasana, or forward fold. The top of your mat, you can grab opposite elbows. Breathe into your back body. Bring your hands to your hips, reach to the crown of your head, come to a flat back, then straighten all the way up. Bring your hands to heart center, feet come to touch. Glue those knees together unless that's uncomfortable. And then slowly start to descend, allowing your heels to lift. Feel that stretch through the calf. When you reach the bottom, breathe and balance. And then slowly lower those knees to the ground. Full range of motion in those little toesies. And then breathe, pause. And then lean forward, uncurl your toes, come to the tops of your feet. Hips reach down toward your heels. And then if you can rock back, great. If not, just find what your body allows you to do. So closing out the way we opened. All right, find stillness. Bring your hands to heart center. Tuck your chin to your chest. Take a big, deep breath. And again. Take a moment to give yourself a little gratitude for taking time out of your busy life, your busy schedule to care for yourself, for your body. Thanks for joining me. I hope you feel a little bit looser. Namaste.